So this is a little portable TV I got on eBay for 20 bucks, and then I have put a series of adapters and a Raspberry Pi in there to make it so that it'll play 80s movies and commercials on a loop. Let's see what we got here. Gotta tune it in. Oh, it's turned off. Well, let's fire it up. There it goes. So it's black and white, but it only costs 20 bucks. That's why I went with this one. You can adjust the brightness still. You can adjust the contrast. This selector, throw it out of. Oh, maybe I messed it up. There we go. That'll throw it out of UHF. You know, VHF needs to be on VHF in the way I've got it set up. This also does the volume and the power. And then you can tune it out if you want, just for fun. Pretend like you're really tuning into a TV station there. Once it's done firing up, I'll show you a little tour of the inside of it. There's some test patterns I put on there to help me kind of adjust the screen. So you can adjust, you know, the vertical hold and everything and the size of it with little knobs on the bottom. Little logo I made. I don't like it, I'll probably improve it. And an intro video I put together. And I think it should play a few commercials before it starts the movie, but maybe not. Oh, I put an intro video. I like this one. Okay, so I've got it set up to just jump into a feature presentation intro and then play a random movie. I've got about 300 movies on a USB drive. So the randomness works out pretty well. Usually I just leave it running and I can come in and just turn it on, and it's almost like I'm tuned into a TV station because it'll just be mid-movie and I won't know what's on. And I have a bunch of random feature presentation intros. A lot of those are on the YouTube channel too, just to give it some variety. Let's see what this is going to be. I can tell already. I think that's Indiana Jones. Raiders of the Lost Ark. And you can see, because it's really a widescreen movie, but I've cropped it to fit on this TV, the text isn't exactly on all the time. But that's okay. It's a small price to pay, and it's impossible to find pan and scan versions of these movies these days. So I just had to scale it like this. Anyway, it's overall pretty neat, and it's very small. So if you go back, you know, here, you can see it's just a little thing compared to the, I think it's a 40-inch TV above it. So just a little thing. Anyway, now I'll turn it off. I got a switch I installed on the side here. Just flip that off. Turn off the screen separate. Unplug it. And I'll show you what's going on the inside. Pick it up right over here. So this is a pretty sweet little unit. I forget what it's called. It's a Bentley brand. And this one has the antenna ports. A lot of them have more like a headphone jack looking thing that the headphone or the antenna plugs into. This one was easier for me because I could just get one of these adapters and then bring it through. I had to drill a hole there. I added this little on-off switch to control the Raspberry Pi. I also soldered in the power so that everything runs off of the one plug there, the one plug hole. I just had to scale up the power brick, the DC power brick, to put out enough volts. But while I was soldering it, I also sort of melted the plastic. So that's a defect, but this is a prototype. Anyway, I put shrink wrap and stuff on here just to kind of sturdy it up and hide it, but it looks a little weird. But the colors are kind of fun. Anyway, one of the great things about this portable TV is that it has a compartment back here for being able to put a whole bunch of D batteries. But I cleaned it out, and instead I've jammed all this junk in there. So, just stand it up, kind of, and show you what we've got in there. Hold on, I don't want to mess up the knobs. Put a little towel under there. Okay, that'll work. So starting off, we've got the Raspberry Pi right here. It's a Pi 3B plus, or 3A plus, I think. A has less ports, so it's a little smaller. And coming off of that, I've got the HDMI cord. You can kind of see it there coming out. And it comes over to, wraps around in a weird way. So the HDMI comes out of here, it wraps around in a weird way, then comes out to an HDMI port that I added there so that I can output this to the bigger TV if I want. Also coming out of there, we have the power. It's a little hard to see there. That's the power cord. It loops over to this socket, which goes inside, and then inside here, I have a 12 volt to 5 volt converter that'll take the power from the 12 volt and put it out into the power that, you know, USB devices can use. And let's see, coming from the bottom here, there's this little rose gold pinkish cable that comes out, and it goes over to this socket so that I can plug the USB drive in, and the USB has all of the, you know, the movies and stuff. And then out of here, it's a little 3.5 millimeter jack. It's an adapter that splits off. It has to be the right one because the Pis are weird and their socket is put together wrong. So you got to get the one from Adafruit. But I got that adapter, and then it turns it into these three composite inputs: the red, white, and yellow. And those go into this box, which turns those signals into a coax signal, a coaxial, you know, single like old antenna. And that comes out here, gets hooked onto this adapter, and then turns that into those two UHF ports. So that's how we're doing it. It's going Raspberry Pi out through that adapter into this converter RF modulator thing, out of that into this adapter, and then into the TV. And that's giving me the sound and the picture. And then this power switch controls the power for the USB ports, as well as this, which was 12 volt, so I just wired it directly into the same plug. And that's pretty much the scoop on that. It looks pretty savage back there. It's very disorganized, a lot of tape and stuff, but it does all fit. And when you close it up, it looks pretty tidy, except for this little thing sticking out. I had to put this on the outside, excuse me, I had to put this on the outside instead of the inside because it was getting interference, and just having that little bit of plastic in between did make a difference in the quality of the picture. Obviously I wanted the best quality picture possible. Also has this antenna. Theoretically I could tune into stuff if there was anything to tune into these days, but there's not. There's no airwaves that work anymore. You need a digital antenna. And somebody could do that too. You could hook up a digital antenna to this, and then it would be getting digital signals if you wanted to bother. I didn't really care about that. Actually, you might have to get a converter too. I'm not even sure if that would work. Anyway, that's pretty much all of it. It does have this HDMI port, like I pointed out earlier. And a neat thing about the Raspberry Pi is it will default to this one unless there's nothing plugged into it. So it'll always go through that adapter setup into the main screen here when there's no HDMI plugged in. But then if I do plug an HDMI in and restart it, it'll boot up to the bigger TV. So since it is a Raspberry Pi, you could do just about anything with it. You know, you could put an operating system on there. You could put, emulators. I just did this little fun movie thing as kind of a test, but you can imagine how neat it might be to play like Mario Brothers or something on this. And then when you want, plug it in, get it on the big screen. I'm also thinking about adding like one of those power packs to charge up your phone. They have some that'll output in 12 volts that are big, maybe stick out about another inch or two off of there. But I could mount one of those there, wire it in, and then I'd have a few hours of actual portability. And then it'd be kind of like a little boom box that plays movies. So that's that, and I guess I'll put up some more videos about this later. Maybe I'll take it apart and show you guys what I did, or maybe I'll make another one and film that one, the whole process. But for now, I'll just let this video wind out with some test footage. Get it starting up again, and you guys can just watch. Sound. So now we should get a different feature presentation intro and a different movie. It only does this gong thing when I start it up for the first time, not in between each movie. That's a fun one. What's going on here? Oh, it's Ghostbusters 2. Well, anyway, that's that. Stay tuned for more videos about this.